So
Shit,
growing
man.
up in your dad, you say you was trying to be like your dad. Let's talk about that. Can you go into like that background of your dad?
Yeah. So my dad, he from Park Hill. He from Mafias. He an OG from Mafias. And when I was around him, when he would be around, or even when he lived with us, he'd be with his homies. And they telling nothing but war stories back and forth. You remember this? You remember this? You know what I'm saying? He talking about when he got shot and shit like that. And you know what I'm saying? As a kid, as a boy, you look at your dad like he everything in the world. So I'm in my head, I'm thinking like, oh, this is how you supposed to be. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not to mention the niggas I was listening to. Like my favorite rapper when I was a kid was Snoop Dogg. You know what I'm saying? And you know the image he portraying.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, well, this how my dad is. This how the rap niggas is. This is what you supposed to be like. You know what I'm saying? And just being around them, hearing all their stories and seeing how excited they was getting telling them stories, you know what I'm saying? That shit made me, I was excited. Like I was there. I'm only 7, 8 years old listening to this shit.
When you jumped off the porch, when your dad first noticed that that's what you was wanting to do, did he ever approach you and like try to give you some game as far as what you was getting yourself involved with?
In a way, like I didn't come right out to him about it until I had went to juvie. I caught my first felony. I went to juvie. I was gone for 2 years. So when I got out, that's when I would talk to him about it and shit. And then like the type of shit he would tell me is like, nah, you don't want to get quoted. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get quoted. It's no hood. But he wouldn't go in depth about it. You know what I'm saying? He finally told me why he ended up in jail and shit like that. But other than that, it was just like, if you're going to do this, you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? You got to make the right moves. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. But he never really went into detail. He really let me figure that shit out on my own to see if the first fight I ever got into, I was a little kid. I was probably like 7. I was probably like 7 years old. We had my cousin's little birthday party. It's a little nigga out there. He like 13 though. You know what I'm saying? He got a blue flag in his pocket, little kid. My dad like, go fight this little nigga. You see that nigga with the little blue flag? He thugged out, huh? Go fight the nigga. That was the first thing he ever taught me street-wise, but I didn't realize what he was doing, you know what I'm saying? But it still stuck into the back of my head like, oh, yeah, I need to impress this nigga. He want to see this type of shit. But he never told me, like, this how you go about this and that. Don't do this and don't do that. He never put me on game about that shit. I just had to learn it. And I feel like that was his goal, though, was for me to learn it on my own and figure it out.
By yourself?
By myself, to make the right decision and not try to make a decision based off him.